and we also want to communicate that clearly as well, okay? All right, so now let's throw ourselves into the essentials of what we're talking about. In the info video you've already received, there is some information that I'd like to explain a little bit more in detail, and also by the end I want to show you what you can do today to be guaranteed your first money earned online, all right? So as you can see here on your screen, let's first talk briefly about the company and a little background information. Then we talk about the market itself. And then I'll show you how we work and how we've grown so incredibly fast and what the plans are for Getmyads. Then I'm going to show you all the sources of income and how they work in detail. And then we'll show you exactly how you can start making money today. All right? Sound good? Well, one more thing before we get started. I'm not going to read the chat and answer any questions right now while I'm talking. So therefore, I ask that you please understand that I'll be happy to answer your questions at the end. So write them down and try to remember them as simply as possible, and we'll discuss that at the end. Now, the webinar is going to take about 25 minutes, and I'll deal respectively with your esteemed time and therefore go directly to the first point and not beat around the bush. First, let me introduce you to our company. Getmyads is the company of Frank Hansen, a successful entrepreneur with roots in the United States, and today he lives in the Caribbean and directs several companies, mainly in the fields of marketing, internet, and software for business customers. Now, Getmyads is a traffic network which he founded back in 2011 under a different name and without the payback concept with the affiliate program as it works today. The program was introduced in 2014 and until then was only for premium customers, and I'll explain to you a little bit later on what a premium customer is. In 2015, Getmyads was set up as we see it today, and it can be used in many countries and markets. Getmyads cracked the threshold of 1 million in sales after only 58 days after it was founded, and last year grew to approximately 25,000 customers and affiliates, a total of 14 million paid out, which is pretty impressive as it began to expand in 2016. Now, only 2016, the English-speaking market, Germany, Russia, France, and other countries have come to where Getmyads are today, and we're just starting the expansion, so it's pretty exciting. Getmyads, which I'm going to call GMA from now on, is still massively expanding with a concept that's absolutely impressive. So, hang on a minute, let me get a drink of water. As you can see, GMA is a healthy position company. In 2015, it was restructured and perfectly organized as an international company. Now, the company was restructured in the background, but not the business model. It was necessary for commercial reasons to separate divisions. These new companies have been created and GMA, without any interruption, incorporated in the ongoing operation. So we as customers and affiliates have noticed nothing except that the contract has changed for us a little bit. It's irrelevant for us because we're working from home, so basically there's no company address to worry about. So now let's talk more about the market itself, the market in which we operate. The market of which the entire internet lives, and without it would not exist in the internet form. The market of advertising, online advertising, the market with the affiliates, customers and buyers, the website operators and selling artists, in short, a billion-dollar market with continuous growth. There are, in principle, the following types of sites on the internet that I'd like to briefly explain to you. Now, first, there are websites where you can buy products or services directly. These are called online shops or sales pages. Here, it's obvious how the money is earned. A visitor comes to the site because he wants to buy a product, a service, or a digital product, and these may include like eBay, Amazon, and all online stores with products of all kinds, as well as sales pages and niche products. Then there are websites like Facebook, news portals, and sites like that on which we simply consume information. These include YouTube and websites where we look at funny pictures and so on. On these websites are banners, text ads, pop-up advertising, and other forms of advertising. Now, whenever you click on a banner, text displays, such as with Google, these ads are on the right side. So whenever you click on it there, because you responded to the text or the offer, someone always pays for that click and a specific amount to the website operator, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, or news portals, including any banner ads that you see on the internet. This goes to Google via ad networks that have rented the banner space for your customers and Facebook pages directly, and great for smaller sites. Also, GMA has a subsidiary such as a traffic network for its customers to use, but we'll talk more about that later. For completeness, I'll even mention that there are websites who live by donations, like Wikipedia and other nonprofit organizations. However, a very interesting fact is that nearly half of the companies don't have a website, and only part of the business owners have a website and that they actively use to offer their own products and services. These people slowly wake up, and therefore all of the market with advertising on the internet is in constant expansion. There are more and more entrepreneurs on the internet and more entrepreneurs that are using online advertising. Internet advertising has exceeded the volume of newspaper advertising in 2014 for the first time, and it's predicted that this growth will be enhanced when more and more companies discover the internet for themselves. Now today, companies like Google, which is basically just a website, it's worth more than the largest airline, oil companies, and car manufacturers. Really. The value of such companies, which include Facebook, are purely measured by how much coverage of a market a company has with its advertising. Now, if tomorrow a law was enacted that Google may not make any more advertisements, which is totally absurd, but I say it just to prove a point, the company would be absolutely worthless and would immediately shut down. Now, the largest companies on the internet are all living by advertising that you see and that you can click on, and exist only thanks to you. So, question for you, have you ever been paid by Google, Facebook, or YouTube, or another web page for viewing their advertising or clicking on banners, and you've made these companies billion-dollar corporations, and you probably didn't even get a thank you for it, did you? But at best, but maybe you received a promotional email with new offers and things that you could buy, right? All right, the money is passing you by. A few years ago, companies entered the market who could establish themselves real quickly and successfully. You have your members remunerated that they have specifically looked at advertising or emails that they've received, or they just opened and confirmed. Now, these concepts are good, and people have earned a lot of money, and many of our customers and affiliate partners are themselves actively involved in such networks. These were the pioneers who paved the way so we can now take advantage and improve things. But what I want to do now is show you how we've done things differently and what benefits and advantages our customers have. So there are companies on the market, so-called advertising platforms, who sell their advertising to their members. This advertising is usually only seen by other members. In some companies, the members have to click every day a certain number of banners to get commissions. This means, however, that members who buy advertising only show this ad to other members, so there's no advertising for someone who clicks on, for example, car insurance. They have no interest in car insurance. They're just clicking on it to get compensation without being interested in the product or service at all. This advertising, therefore, is not very effective, but it still works for the partner, and this business model has helped earn extra income, and for some, their main income for over 5 years for a lot of people all over the world. Well, what makes GMA different? It's a little bulky, but I'll try to explain. Customers of GMA buy so-called advertising tokens. In short, a token. A token is an internal unit to buy a unit of products and services within the company, such as a currency, if you will. A token always has a value of $50. We take dollars because we work globally. If a customer buys with a token, for example, advertising in the form of banner displays or clicks to his website, the customer will then pay with this token, and GMA will work with the token. First, the customer will get the booked advertising for $50, of course, but that's nothing special. It's normal. If you pay for something, you get what you expect, right? But, and this is important, these clicks don't come from members, but from our own network. There's no inbreeding advertising where members mutually show their ads. We have real visitors from external sites to click on the banner or ad because they have a genuine interest in your offer. And more about that later. And yes, if you don't have a web page or you don't know what you should apply, we're happy to help. There's many affiliate programs that we can recommend so that you can bring your advertising also. Gradually, those recommendations in the members will emerge depending on the languages. Now, back to our token. This token is now divided into the following. 40%, in essence $20, going into the payback pool, which I'll explain in a moment. This is the main pool for GMA and its customers. This money goes directly back to you. 40%, so an additional $20, are paid to affiliates for a compensation plan